Hi guys, hopefully you had a great day at school and you're ready to work on some math. So you should have your math textbook open to page 166 and it should say practice 5.1 and you should have your composition book and a pencil. So if you don't have that, please go get it and we'll come back and you can start the video. If you do have it, then we can go ahead and start. I assigned you guys questions on page 166. I needed you to do number 1, number 3, number 4, number 7, and number 8 right below that. So I am going to go ahead and have you guys, the 1 through 6 are actually pretty easy. They're just using the dividing. I did want to talk about number 6 real quick. It has fractions in it, but remember, just like all of these other problems, you're just dividing. So remember, when we divide fractions, it's just simply, if you remember your song, says if you're wanting to divide, look on the right side, do the reciprocal, which means to flip it around, and 3's on top and 1's on the bottom, and then multiply. So essentially that's all you're going to do with that problem. To find the answer is just divide your fractions, which is looking on the right side, doing the reciprocal, and then multiply for your answer. But I am going to go over number 7 with you. All of the rest of them you should be able to do on your own. So let's go through it real quick. A plumber pays $3.60 for 60 centimeters of pipe. And we already kind of went over this already a little bit this morning. Sorry, I'm going to give myself a little room to write here. And so I wanted to just quickly go over it again. I think we got a little confused in class trying to break down a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to try to do it real simply for you here. A plumber pays $3.60. Sorry, my paper's getting a little messed up here. $3.60 for 60 centimeters of pipe. So we did our math this morning, essentially just like everything else. We would divide and we would have, sorry, I forgot my 0 there, 60 divided by $3.60. And if you remember this morning, we figured that out and it came out to 6 cents, which is essentially what this is. It's saying $0, 0 in the tens place, and just 6 in the ones place. So it's 6 cents. So now that we know, for every 1 centimeter, I'm just going to abbreviate that, he has to pay 6 cents. Now that we know that, the question that's asking, if you look at number 7 on your book, right here, is not how much each one costs, but explain how he can use that unit cost that we just figured out of 6 cents for 1 centimeter to find the cost of buying 100 meters. And we already talked about this morning how if there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, then essentially what we would do is just take how much we found for 1 centimeter and we would times it by 100 to make that number for 1 meter. So we're taking 100 centimeters for 1 meter, so we would need to times our 6 cents times 100 as well. So essentially what we're saying is we took 100 and centimeters, or we took 1 centimeter and we timesed it by 100 to equal 1 meter. And so what we're doing is we're taking our 6 cents and we're timesing it by 100 to find out how many cents that our meter would cost. It's probably going to be more like dollars. So this is essentially what we're writing. So all we need to do is say 6 cents times 100 would actually equal $6. And we were trying to show this morning that, remember, we learned 2 days ago, if I have 2 zeros, then I can just either do the times like this of 100 times 0, 6, and if I work all that out, and 0, 0, and 6 times 0, and that's 6, and then I bring my 0 down to save the place and do 0 times 0, 0 times 0, and then 0 times 1, and then I count Well, there's 2 places before the decimal, so when I add all this up, I count 1, 2 places, it would just be $6. Oops, you didn't see that. It would just be $6 if I added all that up and then took the 2 places that were holding for my decimal, moved them down here, 1, 2 places, it would be $6. Or if I didn't want to do all that multiplication, I could just see that every time I take 2 zeros in a number and multiply it by a decimal, it just moves that decimal 2 places to the right. 2 zeros moves it 2 places to the right, which would make, if I move that 2 places, 0, and my decimal point would be here, so I really don't even need this 0 here, and it would just be $6. So you can either do all the multiplication, or you can just very easily go 2 zeros means 2 places to the right, which makes $6. So our answer is $6 for if we take our 6 cents times 100. And then what we need to do is, now that we've found out that 1 meter equals $6, if 1 centimeter equals 6 cents, 1 meter equals $6, but it asks us on our problem to find out how many for 100 meters. So we need to now take our 1 meter for $6 and times that by 100, because now we're going, well, I know that 1 meter is $6, but they want me to find 100 meters. So I would need to, they took 1 meter and timesed it by 100 to make 100 meters. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top, and that would equal 2 zeros again. We're moving it 2 places to the right, which would essentially just make it, and my decimal place is here, $600. So my answer is 100 meters would be $600, and that's your final answer. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And so I've explained that number 6 right here. You just need to divide, which is just times with a reciprocal. Number 7 I just worked out for you, so as long as you show the work that I just did, you'll be able to know that one. And number 8, if you guys remember, it's asking you to find A and B. And remember, it's just kind of like our ratios. We have 1. Well, what did they do with the 1 to make 48? Well, 1 times 48 is 48. So then 2, I would just say, okay, well then I take 2, and if I did that to this side, I need to times it by 2. They took 1 and timesed it by 2, so you take 48 and times it by 2. Over here they took 1 and timesed it by 3, so you need to take 48 and times it by 3, and just go down to answer these questions here. So hopefully that all makes sense. Hopefully you guys have a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow with numbers 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8 done on page 166. Thanks so much. Have a great day, guys.